Then you can have like a really fun a cappella version for just this episode.
Well, I hope everyone appreciates the new intro because that's staying in.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello, everyone. It's the Comic Literate Podcast back again in your ears.
In your fucking ears. Unless you listen via your feet.
Is that a thing?
In which case, send pics, which I will promptly sell on the internet for cold, hard money.
comiclera@gmail.com. Yeah, why not? And different intro. So welcome back to the podcast, which let's try out, which I think is the most pretentious comic book podcast, while
but also
being
the least pretentious.
I was going to say the most lowbrow.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. What's another word for lowbrow? Like seedy, or is that too much?
No, seedy. We're not seedy, Ryan.
I mean, we can be.
We're of the people. It's
by the people, for the people.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of both edutainment and turn your brain off comedy, isn't it?
Yeah, but the edgy, that's for education, not edgy. Because we're not edgy. Yeah. I don't know if that was like, it's entertainment, but it's also edgy. Like we were talking about the other week, like edgy comedy.
No, it's just edutainment.
Yeah.
Like educational entertainment.
Yeah, sure. I agree with that.
So what are we talking about this week, Ryan?
You're really eager to get to this week's comic.
Yeah, can't wait. Loved it. Well, every second.
We're back in the familiar feeling. We've slipped back into that warm bath that is absolute Batman.
Yeah, the warm bath. I can see my toaster.
And you know what? And yeah, good one. The funny thing is, I had no plan to go back to Absolute Batman. I think when we first did it, we did it justice. It was entertaining. Justice League. I think it was fine, and I was like, but we were in the same boat. We didn't really have any notion to go back to it at all.
Yeah.
The problem is it's one of the most popular, highest selling, and most searched for comics currently released.
So we need to weigh in our 2 cents on it.
Yeah, but
we have to.
But specifically, I think we had this when we've dipped back into comics, most notably the Ultimate Universe from Marvel.
Dipped back into comics.
We dipped.
Ryan, we talk about comics once a week. We don't dip into
specific comics.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah.
We've revisited specific titles. Sorry, I understand now.
And sometimes the problem is, like Ultimate Spider-Man we did recently, it's just sometimes they're just kind of keeping the plot along going and nothing very exciting happens. And I like my dry stories. If it builds up to something exciting, I'm all in for it.
Yeah, I think with something like Ultimate Spider-Man, what we're now kind of waiting for is a point where it's finished and we can zoom out and view the whole thing.
Yes, which is coming soon. So we haven't got long left. With Absolute Batman, I thought, how exciting is the story? Is it worth it? And the story, there's some bits, like I've got a few things to talk about. I think the biggest points we're going to be talking about, and what I said, how I justified to you in doing this at all, is they'd done quite a few ultimate versions of Batman's rogues gallery, the baddies. So I thought, let's put more of a focus on that. Let's see how they've been presented, how they're different. Do we like them or not? And, like I said, I did read the comics, so I can at least touch on the story a little bit as well.
I did not read the comic.
You read as much as you needed to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm busy, you know. I had like fucking antenatal shit today,
Well, there's going to be something related to that coming up towards the end, which I've not told you about, and I'm full on surprising you with. So,
oh, cool. What baby stuff?
You get in a way, but anyway, we'll get to that.
You have won.
You won another baby.
No.
The scan said it was one. That one was hiding behind the other.
The other one was in your other girlfriend.
He admitted it. He finally admitted it.
Imagine if this is how she found out.
I mean, she's heard already, hasn't she? Or has she not listened to... Do you stop her listening to the episodes where I mention it?
Yeah, well, no, I mean...
Don't listen to this week's, mate. It's really boring. You wouldn't like it.
Do you know what's really funny? She's not been listening that much recently because
I made the jokes.
No. Just because she's busy growing a human. Like, bitch has got shit going on. And I mentioned the joke, and I mentioned that the other part of that joke is that I keep saying how much she hates the joke, and she's like, well, no, don't say that, because it makes me sound like a soulless bitch. And I'm like, no, I don't think anyone thinks that, Emily. And she's like, right, I'm gonna go on record and say that I don't care about the joke. And I'm like, cool. So for the record, guys, she doesn't mind the joke.
You heard it, people. We can continue joking about Jamie's infidelities.
It's when we have to start taking them seriously that it's a problem. It's when we have to come on and make like a prepared statement about my infidelities that it's become an issue.
Well, that's when we know when we've made it. Because if as a podcast, when one of the members of the podcast has to issue an apology for being a creep, that's when you know.
Like the Try Guys.
Yeah, exactly. They set the template. We're just following it.
They did, didn't they? I quite liked the Try Guys, and then the whole scandal happened, and I stopped watching.
That's fair enough. I can get that when you're trying to watch people like do like really light-hearted stuff, and you're like, yeah, but you cheated on your wife. Like,
well, no, they sacked him, didn't they?
I don't know. I didn't pay that close attention to it.
The issue with it is, if they'd have just cracked on with the funny stuff, and
some listeners are saying that now about us.
Yeah, right.
Go on. Finish your thought.
If they'd just cracked on with the funny stuff, right, and he was just still there, and it was like, guy cheated on his wife, but it's cool. But they like sacked him, and it had to get all serious for a bit. And I was like, I just want to watch him like eat the whole menu at Chipotle. Like that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, but there would have been reams and reams of comments afterwards being like, "Why don't you try and not cheat on your wife?" Like it would have been that. You know?
Yeah, and it would have been gold.
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, "Wow, we're getting so much engagement." Anyway, so what I'm saying is, if your infidelities do come to light, then it will only boost the podcast. So keep doing what you're doing. So, absolute Batman.
No. Right. Well, you've done it. You've successfully got that one through. Oh,
we have to talk about the comic now.
Yeah. Absolute Batman.
Yeah. Issues 6 to 11
is unfortunately really badly drawn for the most part. I fucking hate the art, Ryan.
Really?
Yep.
Did you hate it when we first did it?
Nope.
So you just hate it more now?
Yep.
Fair enough.
So, well, no, I don't hate it. Anytime it's Batman, he looks really good. Anytime it's Bruce Wayne, he looks like... Have you seen Big Hero 6?
No, that's one I should have watched, yeah.
So Big Hero 6 is a very good Disney film.
I've heard rave reviews.
Do you know what the robot in Big Hero 6 looks like?
Yeah, big white, like a Michelin man without as many lines.
That is what Bruce Wayne looks like in this.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing you had the similar argument for All-Star Superman, was Clark Kent was like a hulking giant compared to all the normal people.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's that he looks like a big gormless fucking idiot. And then when he's in the Batman suit, somehow his whole facial structure changes. Like, that is not the same guy who's in...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a bad panel.
Like, I'm sorry.
Is that from issue 7?
That looks like a racist illustration of a Chinese man from the 1950s.
Yes, you are dead correct. I think if it's from issue 7, that was a different, like, a guest artist.
Was it a guest art? Yeah, no,
yes.
It's shocking,
So
Ryan.
we have one artist who's done really bad, and the rest of... I don't know if we should name the guest artist now, because I feel a little bad. Like,
fucking 1 minute. Scroll back. Marcus Martin.
Well, there we go, then.
Shocking job, pal. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sure you're very good. I'm sure you're usually very good. But no, so...
The rest of it was drawn by Nick Dragotta.
Dragotta.
I think they've done a better job. It's definitely nowhere near my like top half of the year or anything, but it's a unique style to the series and it's fine.
Anytime Batman's in the bat suit, he looks quite good.
Yes.
And I really like what they've done with Bane.
And the fighting looks really good.
Fighting looks good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean...
Good gory bits.
Good gory bits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, ultimately, it is much of a muchness to previous issues. But issue 7 was particularly poor.
What I like about this with the
Do you reckon they got him in at short notice, though?
We don't... This is the thing. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes there.
Yeah.
Like, was someone off for a week and it was planned for ages, but then the boss was like, oh, shit, we've got to fill it. We've got to cover...
Do you reckon this is what people are going to be saying about my paternity leave episodes? Whereas, like, if you listen to that last Comic Glitter, it's shocking.
Or the worst side view is like, do you Comic Glitter got really good?
Oh no! Imagine. And then, like, you and I have to have a really difficult conversation where I come back, where it's like, so Jamie, we've gained many listeners since you've been on maternity leave. I think you might have to just become an executive producer.
Or a guest. Occasional, hey, original guy's back.
On my own podcast. Yeah.
But
can we get confirmation on air that that's not what's going to happen? Because I would be upset.
Listeners, I've got my fingers crossed. Yeah, no, that would definitely never happen.
But I suppose the benefit that I have is when we have that conversation, I'll be stood here with a very cute newborn.
You you've seemed to think that was something that would sway me.
Yeah, I forget that where your heart should be is just a cold, unfeeling mass of wrestling knowledge.
And comic book knowledge. Come on. Be accurate, at least.
Let's be frank here.
Yes.
If you were on Mastermind, right?
Yeah, it'd have to be. Although,
it would be wrestling.
I watched I think I know more about comics and MCU than wrestling, I think.
So would it just be the MCU?
Well, there's the thing. I watched the one where someone's special stuff was MCU, special subject or whatever.
Jesus.
And yeah, a couple of the questions, I was like, fucking hell, like, does anyone know that? It was like, what is the name of the waitress who bought the coffee over in the seat? And I'm like, what
Gail.
the fuck? No, it wasn't Gail.
Well, looks like I have to change the specialist topic on my Mastermind. I don't think Mastermind's on the air anymore, is it?
I was on YouTube. I have no idea. So with the art on this,
Sorry.
all I'll say is there was a couple of splash panels I thought were really good, like
Go on, then.
entertaining. There was.
Not that I disagree with you, because there's one I quite liked with the Joker.
Yeah, I'll get on the bloody Joker here. I mean, there's the Batman stabbing the eyes of Black Mask.
That's cool.
With his ears. That was very cool. I think we'll go to, rather than, because we've done this before, like art and story separate, I'll mention good powers as we go along, rather than like going through all of them now and then talking about a story.
So, Ryan, who loves structure, has now decided that he doesn't like the structure.
I'm breaking the structure for you, motherfucker. Like, this is...
Yeah, why? Yeah, wait, why the fuck? No, see, this is the thing. I've gotten so comfortable in the structure of the podcast now that I quite like it.
Okay, the only reason I'm changing out, similar to what we did with Ultimate Spider-Man, is because we've covered it already. Like, it hasn't changed that much since we last
And
talked
really,
about
what we're here to do is have a chat about the Rogues Gallery, isn't it?
Exactly.
Why is it that Batman's bads are called the Rogues Gallery and no one else's are? It's a cool name.
No, they're all called Rogues Gallery. In fact, it's the Flash's enemies who he does have a group of enemies that are called the Rogues. Like, that's like their team name. Whatever.
Right.
But Rogues Gallery is a general term for a character. I think it's most commonly used for comic book characters because obviously they have the most recurring enemies.
Antagonists.
Yeah. So people talk about Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery. The reason you hear it most with Batman, and you would hear it with Spider-Man as well, is because they are the most well-known Rogues Galleries.
And I suppose they're quite a large, colourful cast of characters, aren't they?
Exactly. Like Superman has a vast Rogues Gallery, but you don't hear about it as much because they've not appeared as much, media and stuff.
It's 99% of the time it's just Lex, isn't it?
No, it's a Darkseid, Brainiac, Mr. Mixes-Pitlick, your favorite Bizarro.
Oh, fuck off with your Bizarro. I like Mr. Mixes-Pitlick. He's great. Yeah. I just think it's a cool name. I genuinely think somebody was having a good day when they named that.
Someone coined the term for sure.
Yeah,
I think isn't rogues from I'm pulling this out of my ass here, like a Robin Hood brand of rogues, or a term for robbers and outlaws kind of thing. Isn't it?
I mean, you can also have a lovable rogue though. A rogue is just anybody that doesn't kind of fit the stamp of society.
Maybe an anti-hero.
Oh, maybe an anti-hero. Yeah. So the bad guys, Rogues Galleries.
So we in the first 5 issues, we covered Black Mask, who was the kind of big bad on there.
And we sort of see him get
he escapes after getting his eye stabbed with the old bat ears, which is a cool scene. But overall, just to touch on story just a little bit, I do think the story with him over the kind of first 6 issues of it do kind of drag a bit.
Yeah.
As soon as we get past him, we get some different rogues for a 2 or 3 issue stretch, and I think that's far more interesting than the first 6 issues.
Skips along a bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So again, I was skimming through a lot of the story here, but this guy, that's the Joker, right? So
then we get presumably the Joker because he is smiling. When he was first, so this Joker, I find them trying to shoehorn him in as the big bad of the big bads. I'm just so done with the Joker. I'm so overexposed to him just as a Batman fan.
So I thought these were the coolest 2 panels of the entire thing. So we see the Joker in full makeup, but also he's...
Or maybe that's how he looks.
This is it. So he's almost skeletal and he's white. And then he's got this red mass kind of all intertwined with his body. And then it pans to a little alien head on his chest with tendrils going into his chest. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. But then we see him at other points at the beginning of the series and then later on as well where he doesn't look like this.
Yeah.
And then this just kind of begs, I get what they're doing. They're trying to make you ask what's this Joker character? What's his deal? What's he going to look like? And
I thought it was cool.
It looks cool. Again, I'm so tired. every Batman property or incarnation is like, when are we doing the Joker? And I'm just tired of it.
No, and I completely understand that.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that has happened is there have been a couple of really special, iconic Batman stories that include the Joker.
Oh, for sure.
And to be honest with you, I think for the most part, Alan Moore.
Oh yeah, Killing Joke's the biggest.
Because what the Killing Joke does is it sets the Joker up as being the other side of the coin to the Batman.
Yeah, and I like that dynamic and stuff.
Well, but you can't have that dynamic where the Batman can't exist without the Joker, without them always having to be together, right?
Yeah, but then...
Do you see my point?
Yeah, and I think you can't have... It's that thing where you can't have the pros without the cons.
Yeah.
I agree with you, it's like anything. I like the good sides of it. I don't like the bad sides of it. It's...
And again, with the glut of comic book films that we've had over the past 2 decades, it's really easy to forget the Dark Knight trill, which featured the Joker so heavily in the first film?
Second.
Film.
Yeah, first was Batman Begins with a Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, and then the second one being the big iconic moment in that trilogy.
With Heath Ledger's performance obviously being the driving thing behind the film.
Yeah, it's come to define Batman for our generation.
And even a previous generation, Batman 89, Keaton and Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's recurring. And I get why they keep going back to him. I think it just, even with all that justifiable explanation, they're still doing it too much.
I'm not defending it.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
It's why they're doing it. Yeah.
I think the Joker's stale as fuck. I think Jared Leto's Joker,
arse.
Piss weak. I think
Jared Leto's a creep.
Scandal noted.
Yeah.
I think Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker was broadly passable, but
see, I found it the first. I haven't seen the Joker Folie à Deux. It's on my list, but
the musical one.
Yeah, it's on my list, even though everyone said it's awful. But I still need to see it at some point.
I genuinely thought you were taking the piss out of me.
So it was a musical.
Yeah, that when you told me about that film, I had to go fucking Google it in the car on the way home to be like, was Ryan mocking me? And
you know when I'm mocking you because I revel in it as I'm doing it.
Yeah, but I thought you were playing the long con. I thought you were waiting for me to be like, oh, actually, I have a comic book podcast and there's going to be a musical Joker, and everyone in the pub would look at me like, who the fuck are you weirdo? But no, you were not playing the long con. You were being very genuine.
Honest. Sure.
Honest is a nice word. That's a nice, humble Anglo-Saxon word. And it's not, it's a Norman word. But
the first one I liked. It was something different. There's an argument that a few people made where it's you could have literally done this film without it being the Joker and it still would have been as good and you wouldn't have needed the IP or anything for it. Yeah. And I agree with that. But I agree with that, and it's not definitive, depiction of the Joker, but it was an interesting film in itself with some major plot holes and stuff in it as well.
Yeah. But I agree with you. I think the Joker is wholly overdone.
Do you want a prime example?
Go for it.
So, prime example of overusing the Joker is in the latest Batman film.
The Edward Cullen one?
No, yes, with Robert Bat.
Genuinely.
You don't know his real name.
I use his character name from Twilight and his actual name interchangeably.
And he's done so much work to move away from that original role.
He's a great fucking actor.
He's really good, yeah.
Robert Pattinson, right, is probably one of Britain's
greatest exports.
He fucking well is.
Yeah.
Have you seen The King?
No, but I've seen Good Time, which is really good.
Yeah, no, also really good. He's a stonking character actor.
And The Lighthouse, where he jerks off with a seagull or something.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, no, it's really good.
Yeah. So, in that film, main antagonist is the Riddler, played by Paul Dano. Really good. Yeah. They even let Paul Dano write a Riddler comic set in the same world. Really good. But yeah, great. Didn't need anyone else. And they still couldn't help themselves with a post-credits bit where the next cell next to Riddler is a guy who's like, you gotta laugh. And it's just, I was just like, you didn't need this.
You didn't need it.
And yeah. So,
although, if we get a really interesting, really fresh Joker.
Yeah. Well, they've already sounded me a little bit when they first introduced him. So it's there's the gang members or his pilot or mercenaries or whoever talking about him nearby, and he's they literally stay yeah, I heard he never laughs. That's why they call him the Joker. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
like,
okay. So
we talk about with the Ultimate Universe and the Absolute Universe, like, what difference is he making? Like, are they good or not? And we're going to be talking about them with the other rogues coming up.
Joker doesn't laugh.
Yeah, I was like, how long did it take you to do that? And then later, they change it up again, because he later is in a Bane flashback, and it's like, he's like, oh, he talks and he jokes and he smiles, but he never laughs. And I'm like, when we first saw him, he was like frowny face, and that's why they call him the Joker. But now it's like, oh, he doesn't laugh, but he does joke, and
this
that's
is all
why
just
he's the
so
Joker.
many
it's like,
flavors.
We'll settle on a thing, like
Just so many flavors of bollocks.
Yeah, and again, if I enjoyed it, like the same thing.
You will defend garbage if you like it quite happily.
I think that's the thing for everything. Like,
I agree.
We extend leeway. I mean, there's things we talk about as being bollocks, but it's like, but I really enjoyed it, so I'll, I don't like the biggest plot hole movie that I enjoy is probably Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
As soon as you break down that magic, like the rules of the magic in that universe, like, this doesn't make sense at all. I mean, but it was really great.
I think one of the things that really charms me about this podcast that you and I make,
all the mistakes we make.
100%. Did I tell you I did a fucking dip test recently?
Oh, yeah. You mentioned last week, yeah.
Did I mention it on the podcast?
Yes.
I won't talk about it again then. But if we like something, that is our criteria.
Yeah. And then the challenge becomes finding the problems, trying to be objective and find the problems, being like, it didn't do this, like it did this bad, or this part sucks, or this doesn't make any sense. You're like, but then at the end, you're like, but all the good stuff outweighed it, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Like, and we will come out first thing in the podcast. I either liked it or didn't like it. And then I think the secondary thing, and the thing that actually makes the podcast exciting and interesting to me, is what did it make me feel? What did it make me think about? Why did I find this compelling? And unfortunately, there's just not a lot that's super compelling. And,
what, within this comic specifically?
Yeah, totally. So I thought the visual character redesign of Bane. Can we skip to Bane? Is that okay?
Yeah, or do you want to do Freeze next, just because he's the next one, and we could talk about the picture.
I didn't find Freeze particularly impactful, but I don't know the core character that well.
That's fair. And so and then here's the problem is, it's not only just the differences that are interesting to the existing fans who are like, oh, they've changed this, whatever, but it's still also, and the strength of this podcast is having you not know this exists.
Well,
so you judge it by its own as well.
2 years ago, that was the strength of the podcast.
Well, like right now, you don't know Mr. Freeze.
No, and that's very true, because my experience of Mr. Freeze is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, the worst depiction, yeah. Which is most people's. So.
Yeah, Arnie. Like, we all know Arnie is Freeze, right?
Yeah. And to be fair, the general story for him, like, that they had the blocks of the story that people enjoy. It was just the execution that sucked with that.
Yeah.
But the main point is, Freeze is meant to be a very sympathetic character, bad guy, because he's doing all this, he's robbing banks and stuff, and he's stealing technology and research.
It's a Robin Hood bit, though, isn't it?
No, because he's trying to cure his wife, who he's got frozen because she's got a terminal illness.
Right.
So he's trying to research and cure this disease by himself. And then the specific details go into, like, the best depiction is there's two really good ones from the Batman animated series. I can't remember off the top of my head what the specific details are there, but they also did it in one of the Batman games, Batman Origins, I think. But the thing was, it was like he was kind of betrayed as a scientist before his accident. He was betrayed by the guy who worked for him.
Yeah. They
tried to kill him, involved throwing him in the vat, turned him into Mr. Freeze. So the reason because the argument, you could be like, well, if he's such a genius, which he is, why couldn't he just work for someone and cure it that way?
Yeah.
Like a medical company or pharmaceutical or whatever. But because he's been fucked over so badly and changed into a monster, that's why he's doing it out of society. And
he's just hanging out on his own.
Yeah, exactly. The problem with then the
dabbling in a bit of rogue medical science.
Yeah, exactly. And then the problem is with, like, the Batman film and a lot of other Batman representations, like, then you've got, like, Freeze's goons, and they all wear, like, hockey stuff and parkers, and it's like, we've got an ice theme going on. That's why we're all dressed this way, because the boss he's an ice man, so that's why we do it that way. That's why Two-Face's goons have the half face paint, like, to copy his disability, his visual disability,
disfigurement.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I didn't find this chunk that impactful.
Completely agree. The one thing,
largely forgettable, right?
Yeah, the close change that they made to this one is it's Victor Freeze and the wife Nora Freeze are the ones who are frozen, and it's the son. And the one little bit I liked in the story, and the overall Absolute Batman generally, the running theme is just more hardcore and like painful and awful than the normal world.
Yeah, I mean, because so for reference, we're currently looking at a panel of a guy with a bunch of like welts opening on his face.
Yeah,
and
like blood out of every pore.
Yeah, and it's a bit grim.
Yeah, exactly. And this is like the perfect representation of the Absolute Universe.
Yeah.
Because it was started by Darkseid somehow. I can't remember exactly why, but it's worse
it's all
for that.
Bollocks, isn't it?
So, yeah, stuff like that I thought was... I enjoy grim, kind of gory stuff from time to time.
Yeah,
so
you like a bit of gore, don't you?
And even though, like we said, the story is still pretty kind of bare bones in the most part, there are little bits of just like extreme or like metal in a way. I'm like, well, this is fun. Like, this is entertaining me.
This
at
is
least
so
for a little
metal.
Bit, yeah. This is pretty metal. I mean, when he pulls off the axe off his chest and cuts a guy's hand off with it, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The reveal of the parents being in the ice, I thought was like cool. Like for how bad the art is in this issue, as you correctly said, I do think when they do the weird stuff in this issue, the art complements how weird and off-putting it's meant to look.
Also, this issue rivals last week's comic book for we're going to have to start actually building up an award for this.
Oh, bad art?
No. Old lady titties.
This year has been a good year for old lady tees.
Well, it has. Like, we get another artist representation of old lady tits.
For reference, for anyone who doesn't know, we did Peacemaker last year, and there was a lot of extra detail. Last week. There was a lot of extra detail paid to the swinging of some, what they call them, there's a word for like something hangs and swings. Pendulumness. I probably made up a word without.
Apparently, the Americans would call them flapjacks.
Okay, fair enough. I think more of like a boiled egg nailed to a wall.
Oh, it's two suckers.
And those applies to breasts and testicles.
A snooker ball in a sock.
Yes.
A boiled egg nailed to a wall.
Happens to men and women.
That is worth the price. That is worth, if anything we've ever said on the podcast is worth a 5-star review on your podcast capture app.
Yeah, and quote that in the review if you can. Speaking of, I don't know if this is a pro or con, but I know you don't like it when the characters look really dead behind the eyes. And
he looks like, so dead behind the eyes,
here.
doesn't he?
But the character, maybe it's appropriate. Like, it's not when we did Amazing Spider-Man, it was a girl like with a guy she loved, and she looked like a, as you accurately pointed out, a sex doll. This guy, as we find out, and the point I was really roundabout making, we find out he was frozen just because he had a disease.
So the issue here that I have with this, and I'm getting real nitpicky here, but I feel like
this podcast.
You look at those two panels that you're just showing me, right? His eyes are in the wrong place. The eyes are in the middle of the head. Those are 2/3 of the way up. So his eyes are where his forehead should be. His eyebrows are where his hairline should be. His hairline's on the very top of his head. And then he's got a flat spot on the right-hand side of his head, right? Then we see him on the other side, and that bit of his head that should have a flat spot is now perfectly round. And if you look, his fucking mouth has jumped up towards his nose again. And so it's like, they have not got the proportions right on that face to any fucking degree. And then we shift another panel over, and the proportions are equally wrong in the other direction. Now, again, this is very, very, very pedantic, right? But...
And at least we call ourselves out on that.
Yeah, but these are the things that, like, if you want me to be immersed in a comic book, get this shit right as standard. You know, I mean, I don't think it's too much to ask that a professional artist knows how to draw a fucking face. I just don't, and I know it's pedantic, and I know this is high fantasy, I know this is sci-fi, this is superhero stuff. It's not meant to be grounded in the reality of our universe. But when you are showing me a bunch of human characters, I want them to look human, right?
What's especially funny is Bruce Wayne's in the background, and he's got I forgot the name, the thing in manga where they're further away, and what's the term for that?
Well, do you mean the chibi art style?
Chibi, yeah. You got a chibi Bruce Wayne in the background.
The thing is, he's in the background, his face and his whole body are proportioned correctly, but they've just shrunk all the features down, so all the features of his face are really tiny.
It looks like the manga style, like comedic almost.
It looks like a tiny face in the middle of a normal face, doesn't it? It's ridiculous. And so it's just stuff like that again, it doesn't. I know it shouldn't matter, but they should be getting this shit right to enough of a degree that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then I can start picking on the nuances of your story.
Yeah.
But when you are a professional artist who can't draw a fucking face, that's what I then have to talk about. I don't want to be talking about this, you know?
It seems like you kind of do.
I don't want to be like, oh, well, they've actually... Because again, like, I get it, right? Not all artwork has to adhere to the golden ratios. Not everything has to look right. I think a great example of it being done really well is the Ultimate X-Men series.
Yeah.
Where things aren't all in the right place, but it looks great.
Yes.
So you give it a free pass.
Certain styles explicitly are saying this is the style.
Yeah.
It's not to scale of a real human face or anything. But then sometimes, I think, to your point, when you've got a series like this that establishes a certain style, and then someone comes in not doing the rules that were previously followed, and it's like issue 7 of a... Yeah, then... That can be a bit disconcerting.
Yeah, I just, like, they can afford... It's fucking DC, man. They've got that Gunniverse money. They can afford some consistency. This is their fucking flagship property right now.
Yeah. No, it is.
You know? We're not like...
It might be a case of people who actually, like, buy and read the comic having less concern about it than others.
I fully agree.
Yeah.
I fully agree with you that I am in a minority of people who have come to a Batman comic looking for good art. I get it.
And also there are Batman comics that are revered for its art.
Well, and this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, I know to a certain degree that going to a Big 2 comic and expecting good artwork is like going to Aldi and expecting branded biscuits. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just
It
not
looks close, but it's not quite.
Exactly. I know that's not what I'm there for, but it would be nice if I could buy some McVies.
But then occasionally when there is, then you're like, oh, wow. Like,
it's exciting.
Yeah, exactly. I will say, I think a saving grace, and this isn't to defend the art itself, I'm just saying like as an end result.
Yeah, go for it.
What does help is this character turning into the monstrous Freeze character, then the fucked up face is appropriate.
Yeah, then suddenly it looks really cool.
But then, to compare, then we go into the next issue where we get the
issue
usual
8 looks all right again.
Yeah, we get the usual art, and the cover, like, is really good. This was going around when it first released, like, big, scary looking Freeze. Real kind of, like, Slender Man-esque proportions, which I think if you're going to nick something for a baddie, like, you might as well.
Slender Man's fun.
Yeah, exactly. And he does look a bit more... It's the same general design, but it's just a bit more proportionate, I guess, even though he's got a fucked up...
And he's experimenting on Bruce, and it's all a bit scary. This is probably where this storyline kind of hots up, isn't it?
Well, so here's the problem, though, and getting into Bane and everything, is we kind of get a repeat of that in the next issue.
Yeah.
But then I do like this. The thing about Batman, he's always prepared for everything. I think what helps is sometimes the preparedness is like, oh, I've got an actual radio jammer here that I'm only using this one time. It's like, or I've got the shark repellent spray, which I know is a joke from the Adam West version, but it's kind of representative of, in this, he's locked in this ice thing. He's going to be frozen, and this Freeze Jr., for lack of a better term.
Freeze Jr.
Yeah, basically. He's also carrying the tradition of what are the odds that the guy with the surname Freeze gets frozen?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? But in this, he's gonna freeze him. He's talking about, the first 30 years it's like torture, and you wish you died, but after that you like the pain. I'm like, it's a little cliche, but also the concept of being frozen while conscious for like decades
sounds terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. So that did it a little bit. Batman then he manages to pull out a like pin that's in his gums, like he's like put it in his gums somehow, pulls out, picks the lock, and escapes. And I'm like, that's more, he didn't have a thing on his belt that was the right thing for the occasion, but something to pick a lock is more general preparedness.
But later on he turns up in a hospital.
Well, exactly.
And they're pulling all these things out that he's like sewn under his skin and shit, and it's just a bit creepy.
Yeah, and that's the comparison is...
By the way, just as a side note, the teaser we get for that Supergirl comic in this actually looks all right.
With the shark wearing a dress made of octopus or squid or something, yeah.
Like, I'm well excited for whatever the fuck that is.
We'll get to that at some point. That might be a going away thing before you go on the trailer, potentially. So, getting into Bane, and again...
I was born in the dark. Sorry, I can't help myself.
It's same thing with the Heath Ledger one. Like, that kind of set the tone for how Bane is going forward now. It didn't help that he featured heavily in the Harley Quinn animated show, which is like all jokes. And the guy playing him, he's always like a sad sack who's like, oh, I ruled Gotham once. Everyone's, shut up, Bane. And he's like, I will destroy my enemies. So that joke is kind of carried on.
I think Tom Hardy, by the virtue of being Tom Hardy, made him a bit more badass and sexy than he would otherwise be.
I don't know. I mean, so in the comics, he's always pretty close to like this version.
Well, he's very hench.
Yeah, exactly. And my first thing kind of looking at him was, how much bigger did they need to make Bane? Because how big Batman is. And this is like, oh, fuck, Batman's huge now. We're going to make Bane extra huge. And that's before he even uses his venom to make his muscles big.
Yeah.
That's one bit I liked in this is he's handedly serving Batman his ass.
Yeah.
And Batman's like, well, if you didn't have that stuff pumping into you, and Bane's like, well, I've not even started using it yet. So here it is. I did think they did a good job of, like, he basically looks like normal Bane. It's just in this art style.
His mask is a bit different, isn't it?
No, it's like, he's always got like a lucha-esque kind of mask going on. They make him smart, which is good because that is how he is in the comics. They fucked him up with that back in the Batman and Robin film, where, do you remember the Schwarzenegger freeze and Uma Thurman poison Ivy? In that, he's literally just a dumb, like, and someone hits the button, he's like, even bigger.
Yeah.
He's always been like, in the storyline he's known for the most, where he breaks Batman's back, in the Nightfall story, I think it's called, he tactically outmaneuvers Batman. Like, he outsmarts him. And then when he's cornered him, then he overpowers him physically.
Yeah.
So I like here they've retained his intelligence as well.
Yeah.
But especially, I thought it was really good where he not only is he destroying Batman, but he's destroying him. Batman's throwing everything he's got in his punches and kicks. And Bane is literally using 2 fingers to disable that limb.
Yeah.
And all the time he's going, go on, keep going. You got that. You can do it. Like,
goading him.
Yeah, exactly. But in a real, it's not like, haha, I'm besting you every way. It's like, it's sinister in how authentic it sounds. You nearly got me there. Yeah. Like, go on.
How handily he's achieving this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so he didn't even need to like lift him up and break him over his knee, which we are going to get to past where we've read because he's made explicit mention of that. But yeah, overall, Big Bane looked imposing. Like, is that your general takeaway as well?
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
It was the first one that I enjoyed, and I read issue 10 in its entirety.
Yep.
And I can see why you wanted me to read that issue.
Yes, so that really feels like it breaks up this whole story generally.
Oh, by the way, Batman fucking his girlfriend on a bed of money? Why?
Why not?
But where did the money come from?
Presumably, I assume some kind of bank robbery or something.
So Batman's robbing banks?
No, I think Selena Kyle, Catwoman, is robbing banks.
Right. Because, they are just fucking slamming on a bed covered in money.
Which, if you could, you would. I think that's the same for everyone.
I mean, I think the new...
Except maybe Karl Marx. It's probably the only one who wouldn't.
If I was going to fuck Karl Marx, I wouldn't do it. Actually, no, I think he would enjoy defacing capitalism thusly.
But doesn't it almost, like, support capitalism in a perverted way? Like, valuing money, you know?
I mean, does fucking on a bed support dreams mattresses? It does, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Although, what I was going to say is...
But if you fucked in someone's car that's not yours, that's defiling their car. So it kind of does go both ways, doesn't it?
I don't know how I'd feel about that. I think if somebody had sex in my car, I'd just be impressed.
It depends how much evidence was left. That is really...
Well, think about my car.
Okay.
How would you?
I mean, difficultly. It'd be a game of Twister that only Mr. Fantastic himself could compete.
Although, again, I own 2 cars now, so if someone fucked in the dad wagon, I'd be very upset.
Yeah, my kids.
Yeah, this is it.
And this is what I'm saying.
That's how I get my child to sleep, you weirdo.
It really is that. If it's your own personal possession, it's like a point of pride. It's the what's it? Oh, I've christened the new bed or the whatever. But if it's someone else's, then it's bad because that's what they wanted to have sex on it, not someone else. You heard it
here first, guys. You can fuck in your own car, but not someone else's.
Exactly.
But what I was
unless you have permission.
What I was going to say, right, is that I would have sex on a bed covered in dollars,
not pound coins.
Well, no, not pound sterling, because of the new polymer notes. I feel like they'd be scratchy and cold. Whereas American banknotes are still made out of cotton, which is essentially just a bed sheet.
Yeah, but then also I feel the activity you're doing, you don't have to worry about. The notes are still cold on my back. Like, you're gonna, like,
But
maybe when you first lay down.
scratchy.
Yeah, but then the shape, like, what are the odds that you're going to get an edge come up? Like, they're all flat, you know?
No, because those polymer notes bend and stay bent, don't they?
I don't know. I only have crisp notes whenever I use them. Crisp new notes with the serial numbers that I memorize.
It was my birthday recently, and I was very grateful for it, but someone gave me a 50, and I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
Where the fuck am I going to spend this?
I mean, basically they're saying, here's something, but you do have to go to the bank
Yeah.
and deposit it.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, the new 50's cool. It has Alan Turing on it. I like it.
You could frame it.
Do you know what the
How
worst
much is
thing
the frame? £40.99. Oh.
Fuck's sake. I'll save up. In fairness, my partner bought me a much more expensive piece of wall art than that for my birthday. So
Well, there you go then. More expensive than a £50 note.
yeah, I was kind of mad at her because it was quite expensive wall art, and it's like so niche and so random that only I will find it interesting.
It sounds like you're complaining about getting a really thoughtful,
No.
well-researched
No,
gift.
Incredibly thoughtful, incredibly beautiful, right? It's a woman who does woodcut reliefs. Do you know what a woodcut relief is?
No.
So they carve an image on a piece of wood and then they cover it in ink and press the paper onto it. So they basically make a big wooden stamp.
Okay.
And so she does these incredibly beautiful photorealistic woodcuts of historic buildings in Norwich. You know the end of St. Benedict Street where there's that white building and the staircase?
Yeah.
Is a woodcut relief of that
Okay.
on a really pretty piece of hand-milled paper. And it's really beautiful. But forevermore now, I'm going to have to explain to everyone who comes in my house why I have a picture of St. Benedict Street.
You say it like you're not enthusiastic to say what you've just said on a podcast unprompted to more people.
Yeah, no, I am actually really... I don't
Sounds
have
like
it...
you enjoy talking about it.
I don't have it in my grubby mitch yet, but I'm very excited for it.
Well, there you go. So, back to the comic.
Back to the comic. Bane.
Yeah. The one of the things...
Bane at one point.
I will destroy my enemies.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. But it's again, I've heard like versions of that same voice being done so often, so it's easy to
We share.
One of the things I liked, again, little story beat, which I was just like, that's interesting enough. Joker at the end of the issue 6 is like, get Bane, and you're like, Bane's coming, get hyped. And then we don't see him for 2 issues because they're doing the free stuff. So I appreciate it wasn't immediately the next one. It's like, I'm Bane, I'm here. They talked about me last issue and now I'm here. The negative, though, is Batman is sneaking into this to Arc M, not to be confused with Arkham, which is the real. This is Arc M and it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Batman's sneaking in. He's helped by Pennyworth, who's now fulfilling more of the butler role kind of thing. And as he's going in and he's like, oh my God, there's a deeper level to this Arc M system. The people are being experimented on. We should also explain Waylon Croc.
Yeah.
He's Waylon Croc Jones, I think his name is, whatever. He's been kidnapped and that's where they think he is.
Yeah.
We will get to that later. But he's breaking in. Pennyworth, while speaking to him, loses signal. And he's like, yeah. Probably should have told you what you're about to run into because I know and I didn't tell you and now I get to narrate about it as it happens. I was like, fuck
this shit
off. Like, this is the bollocks where it's like, are you betraying Batman now? Because that's fine. That would be interesting.
Cool.
But it seems more like, I didn't tell you because the plot demands that I don't tell you, but now I narrate to myself while it's happening.
So that the audience knows what's going on.
This whole then following bit with the first meeting with Bane would be so much cooler
without all the narration.
And admittedly, there are some pages without any, like the bit I was talking about earlier, always getting disarmed with the things and stuff. They present that exactly as needed. It's then the following, like the next whole 2 issues are full of Pennyworth narrating.
Although the splash panel of Bane holding Batman up all big,
fully venomed as well. Yeah,
cool.
and that's what I do like about this. So I have similar complaints about this as I did about the Absolute Superman.
Yeah.
But it's not anywhere near as ridiculously expositional as that was. And we get cool bits like this.
Although, to be honest with you, you could get that in any Bane comic, though, couldn't you?
Not necessarily. I mean, like, he's meant to. This is like what they should strive for. But I've also read some Bane where he's just like, I tell you what, they did Bane in one of my favorite Batman runs, the Tom King one, and it's written really well, but he never looks as cool as this.
Yeah.
And I think that is kind of almost to the point of it, where Tom King was trying to make him more insidious and intelligent and that kind of character. This, he's that, and he's brute force.
And he gets a free pass for the anatomy being fucking jacked.
Oh, of course. This is superhero shenanigans level jacked. This is.
Well, no. I mean, the anatomy's jacked up. So his body's facing one way and his legs are facing another in a way that just doesn't work.
But then that is like what would happen to your body if you were artificially increasing your muscles to the point like
what? Your entire thorax would rotate on your legs and point the wrong way.
Are you saying it definitely wouldn't?
No,
this is the point. Yeah,
that's a valid point, I suppose.
And that's where it gets into like your point. If you're presenting what are meant to be contextually normal human beings and they look off, then that's bad. But if as soon as you get into something like this, then you do have a bit of poetic license to make it as weird looking as you want.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it gets the point across at the very least.
Right, so I think you should stop just going issue by issue now, because I think we've sufficiently talked about Bane.
Yeah, I think issue 10 is the one that I asked you to read for a reason. It was the one bit of story that I thought was the best part of this entire comic so far.
Yeah.
And is basically Bruce Wayne waking up naked in a fucking white lab, similar to one we used to record it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that was a weird time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember much. I don't remember how it ended.
No, I just remember that kind of one day I met my partner and stopped living in a white room.
Yeah, no, exactly. So Bruce Wayne wakes up and he's just basically trying to escape over and over again and keeps getting caught. And what I really like about this, and I read it, there's a similar story a few years ago in a Miles Morales story where you really feel the kind of futility of his situation.
Yeah.
Like escaping, getting caught, being brought back, like losing kind of hope every step of the way kind of thing. Like that stuff really makes me empathize far more with a character than a character who's just always winning, you know?
Well, yeah, 100%.
And this especially, there's one little thing that this is quite a serious comic overall. Like, it doesn't take itself very lightly at all. There's one repeat panel, which I'll show you now, which just they bring up every time he escapes. And it made me smile every time. And it's just him in a comically looking running position in a big empty corridor and just the
Thum, 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 thum.
And they repeat it at the same time every time he escapes. So I'm like, it's a really good joke.
Yeah.
Especially because this is not trying to be funny at all.
No.
So it's that levity. Well, I think it's intended, but that what makes it even funny. It's like serious, downer. It's like, look at him little run across the floor.
Do you know what it reminds me of? When you'd be playing like a side-scrolling video game and you would die. No, it specifically reminds me of Abe's Odyssey.
Yes. Yeah.
Where you would die and something funny would happen and you'd kind of have a little animation of him moving back across the screen back to where you started.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then the thumping of the feet on the floor. Because that was the thing with Abe, you could hear like as his like feet on the floor.
Abe's Odyssey was so good.
Hot take, but which I will try and keep as quickly as possible.
No, go for it. I'm well into it.
One of my favorite games of all time is in the Stranger's Odyssey series, and barely anyone knows about it. There's a game called Stranger's Wrath.
Yeah, I've not heard of it.
It took place in the same universe. None of the same characters or even species are in it. It's just part of the Oddworld universe. This was way before MCU or anything like that. Like, this was early days and that kind of stuff. And it was such a fun game. You played third person and first person. You're a bounty hunter who only uses a kind of alien look like, Abe's Odyssey stuff does. He's dressed like an outlaw. So he's got the poncho and the hat and the boots.
Oh.
No one knows his name. So whenever he walks into town, and the characters were all chicken characters who talk like, ah! And every time he walks into the town, they go, ah, howdy, stranger. So Stranger's Wrath. The character's just called Stranger because everyone just calls him, stranger.
Great.
Yeah. And his ammo, the way you would hunt outlaws, so a bounty hunter, is he had live ammo, by which I mean the ammo was little creatures that he captured and shot on a catapult that had like 2 barrels. Yeah. And so there'd be like thud slugs, so like kind of woodlouse, or whatever they call in America, roly-polies, I think, or something. Yeah. But they were like hard balls that would shoot into and knock someone out. They had like bees, which were like machine guns, great. Spiders that would shoot like webs and stuff. It was such an amazing game. And when you were in third person, if you ran for long enough, like a few seconds, you would start doing a dog run, and you'd run really fast. And if you hit a bad guy while in the dog run, you'd knock them to the ground.
So one of the things that I really want to do is, God, we are going on a big tangent.
I'll put Timecodes in.
We're aiming to like screen free our baby for as long as possible.
Good luck.
Well, yeah, but a big part of that is that like the screens aren't the issue; it's the internet that they're hooked up to.
Yeah, of course.
And so old video games are like actually quite good for development. Yeah. They're good for building confidence and spatial reasoning and problem solving. And so I am now having to compile a list of really good video games for like child development. And I mean,
like Mario is probably Mario and Sonic are really good for those.
Shout, yeah. Just, but stuff that's held up as being quite good.
Yeah.
And then finding legitimate ways of having this game library available to a child. I've got a few years, and it's probably going to be one of the fun parenting projects.
One word, emulators.
I know, but like, there's a charm to cartridges and discs.
Yeah, but the problem, the other side of the charm is they're rare or they don't work anymore.
Because I run emulators. No, I don't. Nintendo, I don't emulate.
Nintendo, if you're listening, that was a joke.
Yeah, Nintendo, please don't at me. I've never emulated any of your games.
Nintendo, open. Oh shit, the lawyers are here. Anyway.
Issue 10, naked Batman being delivered to Bane by demons is a cool image.
Do you know who that is, though?
No.
That, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the first one, I don't know who that is, but on the repeat escape, he runs into absolute poison ivy. And then it turns like the woods capturing him and stuff, and that like looks really cool. There was one bit as well, and again, to issue 10, I think is a really good issue overall. Like if you're listening and you've just heard us talk about the comic instead of reading it, read issue 10 by itself if you can. Like, I think it's well worth it. And that's, you agreed, and how you feel about this series as a whole.
Yeah, issue 10 was cool.
So there's a bit where Bruce Wayne's been recaptured once, and they're talking about, and again, one bit where the narration actually I will allow is because
go for
it's the scientist's case notes about him. So it contextually works. It's not just Pennyworth talking to no
diegetic,
one.
Doesn't it?
They are writing down the experiment on him as it's happening. So that all makes sense. So they talk about how like he's in there for like 45 days at this point, and they're measuring like, but after 2 weeks, he seemed to stop struggling against everything, and then he stopped eating, and then we had to put a tube into his stomach to force feed him, and at this point, he was completely unresponsive. We think his well is completely broken, so now we're going to go in and send some doctors in to do some stuff, and it turns out he was faking it.
Yeah.
So he spent a month and a half pretending to slowly lose his will to fight, to then suddenly start kicking the shit out of a bunch of doctors.
Which is fucking cool.
Exactly. And then this is prime example of the metalness of this series.
It's pretty fucking metal.
He has pulled out some of his own teeth.
Yeah.
And he's taped them to his fists, and he's using them like bloody, like shards of glass on his...
Like knuckle dusters.
Yeah, like sharp knuckle dusters to just destroy these doctors who are just like in full masks and everything. And then it's not over. He then uses the tube that's been inserted into his stomach, which is basically direct access to his stomach acid, and sprays it on the face of the last doctor.
Pretty fucking metal.
And then
it reminds me of something that Ozzy Osbourne would have done in a rehab trip.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then
Rip Ozzy.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Oz.
And then he's collected all the shit from the floor of his cell, collected it in the toilet, been pissing on it and let it ferment or whatever to the point where it's now become highly flammable and blows up a wall in the fucking prison cell.
And then,
we get the funny paddle again, where he's just running along the empty hallway.
By the way, collecting all of your fecal matter and allowing it to putrefy in some form of vessel, common prison tactic.
There you go, yeah.
They call it potting.
That makes sense.
So you'll get a container, usually a 2-litre bottle, and you will shit in it and piss in it over a number of days, get it nice and full and nice and rancid, and then you get on your cell bell, which calls an officer. Unwitting officer opens the door, and then you just squeeze a 2-litre bottle of your own shit in their face.
Yep.
Common prison tactic, well-known tactic.
Unfortunately, yes, that is the case. So then we do get the bit with poison ivy, and as I said, I think the art of the creepy looking trees and all that stuff is pretty good.
Yeah.
Just a brief moment of her, and then to wrap up quickly, he then escapes again, and he manages to get all the way to his mate Waylon the Croc Jones, or whatever his proper name is. And you'll never guess what's happened.
Bane's there.
Well, no, I was going to go the other route. The guy whose nickname is the Croc, for whatever reasons, they were like, you know what would be hilarious? Like, you know, we're experimenting on people and turning them into monsters.
What if we turned him into a crocodile?
What if we turned him into a crocodile?
Yeah.
He would regret that nickname. So, yeah, that's basically what's happened. And to tell you, to be fair, the art on this Croc looks
cool.
Pretty fucking cool.
I mean, I can't tell what is face and what isn't.
Which adds to the creepiness.
Yeah.
His row of teeth go all the way to his torso.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
But it is cool.
Yeah. And the one thing I don't like about this, how they kept ramping up Bane to like constantly beat Batman. We get this point where it's like, well, either Batman beats him somehow or he's done. And then we get the Croc coming out and beating Bane, or at least like incapacitating him so Bruce Wayne can get away. And I think that's where I get a bit like, you spent so much time and did really good work building up Bane.
Kind of cool that the Croc's a good guy, though.
Yeah, he does the whole, it's like, remember who you are. The Bruce gives him that, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm a dude and you're my mate. And
we play poker.
Yeah, exactly. And you trained me for that fight that one time, which happens, the flashbacks happen in this issue as well. But then Bane's like, well, you know what? Now I'm really going to bloody break him.
Now I truly get to break him.
And they are building his kind of half and half, right? Like we say about all the changes they're meant to be making. Is it not old hat for, because they're implying that he's going to break
his back.
Yeah, literally break his back. Is it not a bit old hat? Like, you remember the most famous thing like the original Bane did? We should do that again. Because I thought there was a fun little nod to it when they're talking about bringing him first into the experimental place.
Yeah.
And they say, like, he was pretty beaten up when Bane was done with him. Like, carrying him over here, I think we injured his back on the way. And I thought, that's a nice little nod. That's a nice little reference. Fits within. It's not too, like, you have to look out for it to be like, there we go. Now Bane's like, I'm going to break his back. It's like, you're just doing the same as the main Earth 1 Bane. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough, I guess. I got that to look forward to at least. And then there is an issue after this, but there's no new rogues in it, so I think we're not going to...
we can just spin it off.
Yes.
So overall, I would say that most of the rogues are a little bit lackluster. I like the character design of Bane.
Yeah. Big fan of Bane.
I like the character designs in general. I think it's worth the price of admission for that one issue.
Yeah.
But overall, it's still a little bit underwhelming, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's still not... I think it was fun to talk about. It's definitely not I'm not like I need to see what happens next issue. Like, even though these 5 or 6 issues are a marked improvement to the first 5 we first did. I thought that was like a dragging story that, meandered a bit. Issue 10 alone, like him waking up feels really sterile and cold, and you're like, how the fuck is he going to get out of this? Like, him being naked, like, as weird as it sounds, like that vulnerability, like that is such a striking image. And for Batman, who has always got his suit and his utility belt and his stuff,
his armor, isn't he? He's a man in armor.
And tell you a fun little thing to end on, which I thought, let's see how this goes. Maybe this is all full audio.
Baby stuff.
No. You reminded me actually that new do that as well. No, all I did was took a picture of they listed the things they confiscated, all the items they confiscated from Batman.
I saw it.
And how many do you think you can name from the list?
There was a bunch of different serums.
I'm gonna have to say no to
pills.
That. Close. You think of the specific word? Something you might throw?
Oh yeah. Because there was a hammer.
Yes, I'll give you that spiked war club,
Spiked
and in
war
brackets they added collapsible.
Yeah,
Jeez.
and there was a bunch of shurikens.
Yeah, I'll get throwing shurikens. Yeah,
Different type of throwing knives.
yeah, I'll give you that. So they are finger blades, knuckle blades, toe blades, push daggers, trench daggers, various throwing shuriken.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's one other there's a couple of other points. There's one like genre of things he's got. It's all things you throw when they explode.
Yeah, it's like...
I don't know if you get the word I'm looking for. It's pellets.
Yeah,
that's what they've used
and there
there.
was like anti-this pellets and pellets that did this and pellets that did this. And they like there was some hallucinogens, wasn't there?
There's 5 pellets, 5 kinds of pellets.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember all the
All
pellets.
right, I'll give you the easy one first. Gas pellets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then...
Exploding pellets?
Explosive pellets. Yeah, you got 2. 2 are for specifically like medicinal reactions in people.
Yeah, I do remember. I don't remember, but I do remember.
All right, they were sedative pellets and hallucinogenic pellets.
I did say hallucinogens.
Oh,
and
okay,
you just
I didn't hear
past it.
I'm so wrapped up in this exciting new segment that we're doing. And there's one other kind of pellet, getting into places but not exploding.
Lockpicks.
That's a completely different thing, but that is on the list, so you got that. The other one was acid pellets.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously acid pellets. So yeah, and the only other bit that I was going to bring up, and I'm slightly surprising you with it on the spot, is we did get another fan mail from a one Thomas, I believe it's pronounced, but
I'm going to read it out.
I knew it's him again because he said, hello again, you cunts.
Yeah, hello again, but he didn't do a very good job.
Because he did the comic book.
Yeah.
But that's a reference to the podcast. So actually did a really good job.
I don't mind you exposing me as a fan. As a father, I also wanted to congratulate Jamie. Unfortunately, I've been listening to your podcast in such a random order. I have no
idea what stage
you're in, but I wish you all the best. Keep up the great work, guys. You're the only one reviewing the more obscure comic books in my collection that no one else really talks about, despite their high quality. Like Pride of Baghdad, that's a really good one.
Yep.
Or The Human Target, for example. And I have to thank you for introducing me to the Power Fantasy, which is now my favourite ongoing series. Thank you so much, Thomas. My baby's due in like 3 months, like 2 and a bit months. I'm at the stage where you start to quietly shit yourself.
Yeah, and to be fair, Thomas also does give some, what might be identifiable information, which for its sake, he does say, I don't mind you expose me. Let's not read it out. Maybe don't send personal information to podcasts. You can send it to us. What I'm saying is we will do you the favour of not reading it out.
Yeah, I'm not reading out which city and which bit of the city and how old your child is.
Yeah, just in case the identity thieves do listen to us, because we are a very popular podcast, and they think...
Amongst identity thieves, particularly.
Exactly, and they'd be like, we could take that guy's identity.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, Thomas, for us not exposing you.
But thank you for your email.
Yes.
Cool to see there's other dads in the community. Love it, love it, love it.
All right, so yeah, that's it for this week. And give us a bye and I'll play the old recording.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
And thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, then please subscribe to get notified of our future episodes as well. And if you're feeling particularly generous, then please leave a 5-star review on whatever podcast app you're using. If you'd like to get in contact with us, then send an email to comiclitter@gmail.com. You can also watch videos by me on the Comic Stand YouTube page, which is linked in the description. Thank you, goodbye.